Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. So in this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 ranking classes that I used to solo rank to legendary this season. And I actually got the top 100 using these. So these are good, reliable, solid classes. Now I'm not going to waste any of your time. I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. Screw the AdSense. This is going to be a short, sweet, and simple video. So first off, to hop right into it, I named this first class the Flex class. You can either use an S36, a Locust, or a shotgun on this class. So of course I normally run a Locust because I don't use the S36 and I don't really use shotguns that much. And if you are using a sniper, make sure to use agile so you can zoom in quicker and quick scope when you're in close range, and make sure not to use a rocket for a secondary. I've seen a lot of people who use a sniper and then have a rocket as a secondary. That doesn't really make sense because if you hit marker them, what are you going to do if you don't have any rockets left? So a pistol as your secondary, especially this one, I would highly recommend using this one instead of the other one as your secondary, especially when you're sniping. Now on each one of my classes, I always use the war machine because it is the best specialist at the moment. So 100% always use the war machine. If you don't really like it that much, then maybe you could try the death machine, but so far it looks like the war machine is really overpowered. So now I actually use the same lethals and tacticals for every single class. I turned to the dark side. I'm using trip mines now. I noticed that I was never really using my grenades in team deathmatch or domination, so I actually just decided to use a trip mine because it's really lethal. You can put it on a domination point, or you can put it next to a bomb site on search and destroy, and I just think it's still really good right now. And they kind of buffed it a little bit. They didn't technically buff it, but you can't slide underneath it anymore, so it's a lot better, and it's really hard to dodge if you don't see it. And of course you need a trophy system because explosives are so dominant in this meta, and I run a trophy for every single one of my classes since I don't actually run blast vest. And then I also run these perks for every class. I always run ghost and I always run dead silence because you don't want them to hear where you're at, and you also don't want to have them see you on the radar. Maybe if you're a rocket kind of guy, then you could put toughness on, but I don't run rocket on any class. I don't think it's good in this meta. They nerfed it a bit, and most of the time you end up hitting them with a rocket, getting a hit marker, and then dying yourself, and I just don't think that's worth it. I think in a lot of situations, if you get good at switching weapons, a pistol is just going to be more reliable and it's going to win you more gunfights. So moving on to my second class, I actually have the AK-117, and you can see just the basic attachments for it, and I actually have this pistol on it because this is more of a long range class, so most of my fights I'm going to be taking at a longer range, and this pistol you can challenge some of those fights with, and it does a lot of damage too. Now everything else is the same on the right side, so we're actually going to move on to my second assault rifle class. Now this is a type 25. It's a little bit close quarters, so that's why I'm using the MW11 pistol, and I just have the basic type 25 attachments on it. I used to run a lot of stock, but I noticed that stock doesn't really do as much, and I would rather have extended mag, and then everything else is pretty much the same. So moving on to my first SMG class, of course you have to have the MSMC as one of your classes. Of course, it's just so good in this meta, and I have these 100% in my personal opinion, and I'm almost positive that these are the best attachments that you should be using for the MSMC. And then of course it's more of a close quarters weapon, so that's why I have the MW11 pistol. Now on the right side, the only thing that I really have changed is I do run a grenade on this class because the MSMC doesn't really have much range, and a lot of the time when someone's sitting behind a head glitch and I can't get to them, I'll just hold my nade, chuck it, and land it on top of them and kill them at range. So that's sort of why I have the grenade. And I also used lightweight because you want to be super mobile when you're using any SMG except for maybe the AKS. So MSMC is really, it excels at close quarters. The faster you are, and you can even hip fire a lot of the time, so I think lightweight is just superior to agile in this situation. So for number 5, I actually have the AKS. This thing is an absolute laser beam. Now you could make an argument that you could exchange the PDW for the AKS because they're kind of similar, but the only thing I really like more about the AKS is its ADS time is super low. You can zoom in really fast, and I also have agile to help out with that. Of course you don't really need lightweight as much because this is more like a mix between an assault rifle and an SMG. It's just super accurate, and I noticed a lot of the fights I'm taking at medium or longer distances, so that's why I actually have this pistol on, and I do believe these are the best attachments for the AKS, and everything on the right side is also the same. So guys, those are my 5 classes. Of course I don't really use the S36 as much, so I can't really give you my attachments for it, but yeah, this is my 5 classes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to make it as short and sweet as possible, not to waste you guys time. So if you enjoyed that, click the like button, subscribe here if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.